Anna had arrived in Switzerland at last and was standing in a small crowd at the airport waiting for her luggage. She had come back to visit her musical mentor, Master Chen, a Tai Chi master, whose sage guidance had opened the door to her artistry and her career. 10 years had passed so quickly, a life of airports, concert halls, hotels, performances. These were her bread and butter. And while she was an acclaimed bass virtuoso on stage, her private life was a song of hello, goodbye, we should get together. She yearned to see Master Chen, for career was not enough. She ached simply to be happy. He led her to a special exhibit featuring Pablo Cassals. A video played on one of the walls. In it, Cassals passionately played a Bach prelude in G, while on the other wall, Cassals was shown sitting in a sunny garden next to a student, teaching cello, and yet talking about love. He is teaching the young student that music itself can only go so far, saying that the soul needs 3 gifts from love. Cassals said the love of people, the love of beauty in the natural world, and the love of artistic masterpieces. These would inspire her artistry, he assured his student. Later, over an early supper in the hotel, Master Chen told her the story of Anna's grandparents' first meeting. It seems that Anna's grandfather Carl had ordered roses in a flower shop to be sent to his mother for Mother's Day. But the shop girl misplaced the address, and so she called your grandfather Carl to ask what that address was. Sophie was that shop girl, Anna, your grandmother. And Carl liked the sound of her voice right away and said he'd come down to the shop and that he would deliver the flowers himself, no problem. Of course, he really wanted to meet this nice young lady. Your grandfather Carl came down to the shop and enjoyed chatting with her, and then as he left the shop, he turned and came back to her. He pulled one of the roses from that bouquet. He smiled and offered it to her. But on this exotic tour, she had a new agenda to find the passion inspired by the Cassals exhibit. She wanted to spend time experiencing the wonders of nature, the rainforest, flowers, birds, and exotic sounds of South America. She was excited to experience the ethnic rhythms, harmonies, and samba dances of Brazil. Anna sitting there listening to the tango, and out of the club's shadows a young man quietly approached. He was tall, dark, and in a closer light, she thought of him as handsome. Uh-oh, here he comes, she thought. He's gonna hit on me. But he smiled and walked right past her table. She thought. Then a moment later, out of nowhere, a waiter appeared with a red rose and placed it in an empty vase on her table. "What's this?" asked Anna. The waiter turned from the gentleman near the patio. "He noticed your vase was empty. Actually, we ran out and he sent his own rose." There it was, tall and dark and handsome, was letting a flower do the work. She got up and walked slowly over to the piano to see who he was, or to thank him, or to ask him why. She lost track of why she was moving toward him, for the Pinot Grigio was making everything seem delightful and funny. Then there he was, smiling, shrugging his shoulders, saying, "I just thought a pretty woman like you should not be without a rose." went away on tour again, but then in 3 weeks, there was a break and she came back to Buenos Aires. Rodrigo showed her the natural wonders beyond the city, the rainforest, the mountains, and more, and her eyes looked around in awe, entering sacred realms of beauty and silence. The harmony between the two of them grew into a major chord. She had an impulse to play her bass under the canopies of the rainforest, with the sun kissing her hands. So Rodrigo borrowed a van and took her there, and she played, and it was marvelous. 2 days later, Anna was invited to play on an important network television program honoring the roots of Argentine music. They asked if she would play the Libertango piece. Then unexpectedly, the producers apologized and withdrew the offer to have her play. Anna was very disappointed, but Rodrigo was even more upset. He finally confessed that Anos Dorado was in fact a very popular band, and it was led by his father, Alejandro Mateo. Alejandro Mateo learned of the situation by talking to his son, and he felt awkward about the position that he had placed people in. And so he invited Anna to play for him to see if there was some special way to include her. Anna came back to visit Master Chen a year after she had last seen him. She would tell the master about Rodrigo and the education of her heart. And at the end of her visit, Anna asked Master Chen what she could do to possibly repay him for all that he had taught her. Anna, your gift to me will be to go into the world and teach others, help them find their gift as long as you have found yours, and do this with all of the love you have in your heart. Anna's eyes welled with tears, and she took his hand and said, Master Chen, I promise to pass my gift to others and teach them as you have taught me. Good Anna.